Today, we're going to be taking a look at the best clear cases for the S22 Ultra. Before we crack on with the cases, let's talk about why you might choose a clear case over another type. For a start, newer phones often come out in amazing colours, just like our green S22 Ultra or the blue A53 that we have. So why would you want to cover that up with a dull case? Clear cases offer great protection against drops, but also still show off the design of your phone. Right, with that out of the way, let's have a look at our favourite clear cases. Let's start things off with the most simple case, Olixar's ultra thin clear case. This is for people that don't really want a case on their phone, as they want it to be as thin as possible. It's a great way to give your phone some scratch and drop protection without adding bulk or taking away from the phone's design. Because the case is so thin, the buttons still feel very responsive and clicky. There's also a good lip around the cameras to give some extra protection when placing your phone on a desk. But to be honest, that's about it. Other than the place where you can attach a lanyard or wrist strap on the side, it's just a cost-effective case for those that don't really want one. Next up, we have a different take on a clear case. This butterfly case from LoveCases. It's a normal gel clear case, but with this lovely butterfly pattern on. I think the case is great, as you can still have your personal favourite coloured phone while having another personal touch added. There are many other styles and designs, so you don't have to have this exact one either. The case itself is nice and flexible, so it's easy to get on and off the phone. It's also very thin, so you would barely notice it on your phone. The buttons are easy to press, but this is mainly because there's not much material for you to press through. This all does come at the cost of protection. While it will have some protection from scratches and minor drops, it's probably one to stay away from if you often drop your phone. Next up, we have this Ringke Fusion X case, which has a hard plastic back and rubber edges. There are some nice touches on this case, like the buttons. They're nice and flexible, so they feel very responsive and clicky, but then on the power button, it actually has grooves all the way along, and then the volume up also has 3 dots on it. This means you'll know exactly what button you're pressing, even without looking at it. Moving to the rest of the sides of the case, there are these little dots all over, which create a good amount of grip, and do make it feel a little bit more secure. Although if you are prone to dropping your phone often, you might want to consider attaching a lanyard or wrist strap to the case. That way, even if you let go, your phone won't hit the floor. Around front, there's a good lip on the top and bottom of the screen, and also around the cameras on the back. However, thankfully, each of the corners are slightly raised to the same level. This means it won't rock around on flat tables. Overall, this is a fantastic case, which will provide good protection. I really like the clear back, as you can easily see the colour of the phone you've purchased. Next up, we have the LifeProof case. It not only looks fantastic, but is actually made from 50% recycled plastic. Reading the back of the box, it seems this plastic has actually come from the ocean, although it's not 100% clear, unlike the back of the case. Along with the crystal clear back, there's a lovely blue frame with some accented power and volume buttons in a sort of high-vis yellow. The case is also available in black, but it does not have the accented power buttons on that one, which is a shame. The case is nice in the hands, although as the plastic is all the way over the back of the phone, it does feel slightly slippery and will also get scratched a good amount, as there's no rubber to lift it off flat surfaces. A great looking case that will protect your phone and the environment. However, it could get scratched up fairly easily. Next up, we have Ghostek's Covert case for the S22 Ultra. Another clear case, but one that offers some serious drop protection. As you can see from the clear corners, there's some added absorption layer. This should help with transferring shock around the phone rather than through it. The case is a little bit bigger than the other clear cases we've seen today because of this added protection. but the buttons do not suffer because of this. Thanks to slits on either side of the buttons, they're still as clicky as ever. The case is also available in pink and a smoked black. This is also nice as they're both still clear but have the added colour, which is a nice touch. Next up, we have this OtterBox Symmetry case. This is probably the best drop protection we've had for the S22 Ultra today. It feels pretty large and bulky in the hands, and that's because it gives you incredible protection. A downside to this protection is that there's a lot in the way of you actually pressing the button of the phone. This means that you have to press fairly hard and actually look at the phone to make sure you've pressed it. The OtterBox Symmetry also has one of the biggest lips on the top and bottom of the screen. This helps protect your screen when you place it face down. Other than that, there's not much else to say about the OtterBox. It's going to protect your phone very well while still providing a nice clear case. Next up, we have this very stylish Spade case. It's a hard plastic case which does seem to give your phone very good protection. It's fairly thick and will take a good drop. Added to that, it has a nice big lip around the top and bottom of the screen. The buttons are a little muted, so feel a little less responsive than some of the other cases we've looked at. However, the case looks probably one of the best. These flowers on the back have slightly raised centres, which do give it a little bumpy feeling on the back. I also like that you're still able to see the colour through the flowers on the back of the phone. As mentioned, it is a clear case with just a little twist, similar to the LoveCases one we saw earlier. Next up, we have two clear cases with a built-in kickstand. Let's start off with the slightly more expensive official Samsung one. The back of this case is made from tough, hard plastic, while the edges are a little softer plastic. This means it's a little hard to get on and off the phone, but it feels like a really secure fit. The cutouts for the camera are individual rather than a large P cutout that we've seen on most other cases today. This will offer a little bit more protection to the cameras and surrounding area. The buttons on this case are good. Not great, just good. I think it's partly due to the gel on the sides of the case being a little more tough than some of the other cases we've seen today. But let's talk about the reason you would pick this case. The stand. It's made from metal and feels really sturdy. It can hold your phone up in numerous angles and also in landscape or portrait mode. Because of the stiff hinge, it doesn't flap around or open or close by mistake. I think it's great. My only slight annoyance is if you lay it completely flat on a table and tap towards the bottom of the phone, it does rock around slightly because it sticks out from the rest of the case. Okay, so let's take a look at the Spigen one and see if it's any better or worse. The first thing you'll notice is the material is a little bit softer on the back and around the edges. Also, this case does not have the individual cutouts for the camera, but does have a lip around the camera bump to help protect them. The buttons feel more responsive on this one compared to the Samsung case as well. The stand is a little thinner, but it does not stop it being able to hold the S22 Ultra up in multiple angles and also in landscape or portrait. The stand is actually held down with a magnet, which should mean if the hinge loses some of its stiffness over time, it will still hold the stand down in years to come. One thing I instantly noticed with the Spigen is that it's actually a lot easier to remove the S Pen from the phone. This is because, along with the cutout, Spigen have beveled the edge, which gives you more space to remove the S Pen. In comparison, the Samsung one is actually quite tight and hard to get the S Pen out of. Moving on to the last case, we have another one from Samsung. In almost every way, this is the same case, but just without the stand. The back of the case is made from hard, tough plastic, while the edges are a little softer plastic. It does mean it's hard to get on and off the phone, but does have a secure fit. The cutouts for the camera are individual rather than a large cutout or a P cutout that we've seen on the rest of the cases. This means it does offer some more protection around the cameras. The buttons on the case are clicky, but again, like the other case, they're a little bit muted. This is due to the edges of the case having that harder plastic that I talked about. Because this one does not have a stand on the back, it does lay completely flat on the table, so at least it's got one positive going for it. So there you go, some of the best clear cases for the S22 Ultra. To purchase any of these, check out the links in the description below. Thank you for watching, and if you've liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe.